Got a question here by Kenneth Mays. Can you explain the difference between positive and negative gearing and things you should do while having an investment property? Tax purposes. Really great question. Now, first of all, it's not financial advice. I'm just a regular monkey on TikTok. First of all, let me introduce you to the investor's fork road, which means there's two roads they can take, which is positive gearing and negative gearing for their investment property. Now let's break down the simple definition of what is positive gearing and negative gearing. As you can see from this blurb here, positive gearing occurs when you receive more rental income from your tenants than you pay in your mortgage. To give you an example, for example, you have a $400,000 property and you're getting $500 weekly rent, but your mortgage repayment is only $410. So you're positively geared by $9 per week. As you can see from the maths here, 500 minus 410 per week is $90 per week. This means the advantage of positive gearing is increased income, which means, you get spare cash every week. There's less risk because right now you have a spare channel of cash flow. And if you were to, say, lose your job, well, there's some sort of income coming in. Obviously, there's pros and cons. So the cons is that, you might be buying in Queensland, WA or South Australia, which comes to 7 to 9% yield. But the capital growth in that property is very small compared to Sydney. The property you might be choosing may be volatile because in case you're buying in a mining town that gets you like 50% yield, it's very dependent on a particular industry. And if that industry closes down, like the mining towns, then you're screwed. The last con that I'll cover more in detail later is that your taxable income increases, which means you pay more tax. So jumping onto the ATO website, the tax bracket is if you're earning over 180K, you're paying a shit ton of tax. So you'll be paying $51,000 for sure. Then on top of that, anything above 180, you're paying 45 cents in a dollar, which means nearly half your income goes to tax man. So back to this fork road table to make this simple for you guys. Positive is that it has weaker cash flow. It pays your mortgage with a bit of surplus. However, the cons is if you're on a high income tax bracket, you're paying more tax. However, since I studied English Advanced in high school, according to Robert Frost, there is a road not taken. Well, I often take it. Negative gearing, which is the other part of the fork road. So what is negative gearing? So negative gearing is the opposite of positive gearing. When you buy a rental property where the rental income is less than the mortgage that you're paying on the investment property. How it works is that, for example, you buy a property for $440,000, the rental income is $425 per week, but your mortgage repayments combined with cost, council, yada, 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 is $440 per week. So negatively, your negative cash flow is $15 per week. And that's what it looks like on the diagram. Thank you, internet. Now, the pros of negative gearing is that there's tax deductions, and I'll explain that more later, and capital growth, which means you're buying New South Wales. Low rental yield, but very high growth. So the pros are high capital growth. Sorry, Kenneth Mays, I ran out of time, so maybe take a screenshot of this and just read it yourself. Thank you for the question.